Good day, everyone. I welcome you to this free online tech training by No Big Deal. This particular training will be on software development for internship students for 3 months online free training by Rahim. Today, we are going to be talking about the fundamentals of software development. Topic covered will be introduction to software engineering, overview of software development lifecycle, version control system, setting up a development environment, writing clean code and best practice. Then we'll be having our assignment on install Git, create a GitHub repository, and push a simple Python or Java project. But I will urge you to use Python because this course we are going to be using Python for it. Learn and practice Git commands like git clone, git commit, git push, git pull. So we are starting from the introduction to software development. This week we will cover the fundamental of software development, including software engineering principles, development workflow, version control, and coding best practice. That's our aim and objective of this particular course. Introduction to software engineering. Software engineering is the process of designing, developing, testing, and maintaining software applications in a systematic way. As a software developer or as a software engineering, you should be able to create, you should be able to design, develop, test, and maintain softwares. It follows engineering principle to ensure software is reliable, scalable, maintainable. So when you say a software is reliable, it should be function as expected. Any software you are developing, it should be functioning as expected. The problem they gave you, you should be able to solve it accordingly. When I say scalable, your software should be able to handle more users or data. Then maintainable, it should be easy to update and debug. So whichever way you are developing a software, you should be considering this principle: reliable, scalable, and maintainable. So we'll be moving on to the overview of software development. But before we go into the overview, let's look at the key roles in software development. Number one key role is front-end developer. As a software developer, you'll be working as front-end developer. That means you work on the user interface. As a software developer, among your key role is back-end developer. That means you should be managing your server-side logic and database. Then Full stack developer handles both front-end and back-end development, while DevOps engineering manage development and infrastructure. So these are the key roles as a software development or as a software developer. You should consider yourself in these 4 roles. So let's continue with the overview of software development life cycle. SDLC, Software Development Life Cycle. The software development life cycle is a step-by-step process for building software. That is, the step you take in solving a problem systematically. We have 7 steps. Number 1 step is requirement analysis. In some cases, I normally skip this first stage and move on to planning. But as a software development, you should be able to gather, you should be able to analyze your requirement. On this process, you should be able to understand users' needs. When they tell you their problem, seek and discuss the problem with them, understand what they want to achieve. The second stage in the SDLC is planning. That is defining project scope and timeline. When will you start? When and how do you want to do the project? You plan. Number 3 steps you need to take is design. After you have already made your planning, you design by creating software architecture and UI UX. If you are hearing the short form of UI UX, it means user interface, user experience. This is the software that we use in designing the interface without coding. There are some professionals that are into this. Then, after designing, you have already seen how your software will function, but you have not yet put it in. It's just like when an architecturer are drawing the sketch of a house. So UI UX, there are these people that draw how your software will look like. Then development. Writing. This involves writing and testing code. Here, you'll be coding using different tools, using different computer tools. Then after you develop, you test. That's the next step. That is testing, debugging and verifying software quality, checking how the software works, and solving other problems. Development is the next SDLC. That's releasing the software to users. Deployment, you release the software to users to use and wait for their feedback. Then maintenance. Maintenance is updating and fixing issues. This maintenance may come in form of upgrade or update. So when you are using a particular software, I will advise you, when you see a pop-up telling you to update, try to update, because users are developers are adding functional tools to the softwares. So these are the 7 software development lifecycle that we need to follow as a software developer. Requirements analysis, planning, designing, developing, testing, deployment, and maintenance. These 7 steps are very essential that you need to know. So let's move on to the next topic, which says version control system, Git and GitHub. These are version control system. These softwares, they help they help developers to track changes to code and collaborate efficiently. What is the uses of this? When you have 2 or more developers that are not together, they work remotely. Instead of you to be sending offline files to each other, you open a GitHub account, post your files, then other people will see it. They can make changes and it will reflect immediately in your site. So it is a network relationships. So you can have a change of code, you can track the changes, you can code, and you can collaborate efficiently. Next is code example of GitHub. We have basic commands that you need to learn in GitHub. The first one is git init. Git init is initialized a repository. That is to start something. Then the next one, we use it to clone an existing repository. The next one is to check the status of changes. Want to know whether someone has touched your code, you use git status. The next one is used to add files to the committed git. So we use git add to add files to the committed git. Then commit changes. That means change. We want to make a change. After we have changed, then we can do push. That is push changes to GitHub. So what is a GitHub? GitHub is an online platform that hosts Git repository for collaborations. So that is what we mean by GitHub. So you can try creating a GitHub repository, push and pull changes. You can equally collaborate using branches and pull requests. So let's move to the other topic. Setting up a development environment. What do you mean by this? A development environment, they are the IDE that make codes easier. A good IDE should be able to make your code easier. We have popular IDEs and code editors. We have VS Code, we have PyCharm, we have IntelliJ. So those are the three commands. These are the three developmental tools for code editor I have listed here, but we still have Sublime Text and some other text editor. So VS Code, it is a lightweight and customizable. So we'll be using VS Code for this particular study. So I will urge everyone to please download this VS Code. PyCharm is a great for Python project. We use PyCharm for Python projects. Then IntelliJ IDEA. It is powerful for Java development. So let's move on to the next topic. Writing clean code and best practice. Clean code makes software easier to read, debug, and maintain. So, if you want to maintain a clean code, there are some practices you must take in consideration. Like number 1, follow naming convention. Naming convention, they are way of declaring variables. I hope you understand this naming convention, because you should have learned how to declare a variable. Though if you are not familiar with it, you can get it from our software development basic. Number 2 is to keep functions small and focused. Your functions will not be too long. Number 3, you use comments and documentation so that you will not forget what you mean on particular code that you have written. The next number is follow dry. What do we mean by this? Don't repeat yourself. Never repeat. Then the next one is write readable code with proper indentation. This normally works very well. Indentation normally works very well in Python. So, before we conclude this study, I would like to give you this assignment. You install a Git. You create a GitHub repository and push a simple Python. Leave Java. Just push a simple Python project. The next one is learn and practice the Git commands that we have discussed earlier. That is the Git clone, Git commit, Git push, Git pull. So, in conclusion, don't forget to subscribe, follow us. Then, if you have any inquiry, you can chat or call this number on the screen, 07039762488. Thank you. Till we meet in our next class.